Oh yeah, this is a slingshot that a guy sent me from Africa. We call this the African wrap. And it's a real secure method of tying, but it takes a rather long set of rubber bands, because it got it all the way down the front like this, and then you just tie the heck out of them. Just keep winding the string around them and rubber like that, and this is not going anyplace. That is on there. You can shoot it this way, over the top. Some guys will cut grooves to aid in smoothing out the bands, still cut grooves in the top, or just round them off. But this one, this guy put denim as an insulation. Anything works, you know, you just got to use your imagination as long as it's safe. Come like that, or you can flip this around. This is tied so much you can use it both ways. African wrap, that's what this attachment is called. Another good attachment. What else we got? Yeah, right. This one's a single slot. We did a single slot already. Now this is a Chinese pretzel slingshot. And what the Chinese do is they have these bands attached to the pouch. They use dual bands most of their setups. This is that thin diameter tubing. And they cut a slot in a ring style attachment up here. And this is one of the easiest attachments in the world. All you do is stretch this rubber, done, out, comes out, boom. Get it back in, stretch it, done. And the only problem is with this, it's not a problem. You just got to watch when you pull back. For obvious reasons, you don't want to make sure that the rubber is not over that opening, because when you stretch it, it's going to come back and say hello to you right in the eye. And always wear these glasses too. But just keep them on top like this. Excellent style, you know. Me, I feel, being that it's looped like this, some of the energy is going to be absorbed into the forks, but rather than if it was clean over the top. But they get very good velocities, and they've been using them for years, and they love it. So it's not that much of a difference, but excellent. Look at the stretch on it. Excellent. So it works good. It's all a matter of choice, what you want. Now this, I was talking before about tubes, about trying to give you extra wear and everything else. This is a TrueMark FXFO fiber optic sight brace slingshot, and what they did to counteract the wear of the tubes, because tubes, when they're firm like this, when they're on, see, this is a rotating prong attachment, and this was designed for giving you best wear and more velocity. Because this, look at it, when you shoot it, it just goes. See, watch this, right through the throat, and the bands follow. They're not stationary. On a stationary attachment, they would just stay there and flex at this point. They would flex at this point. See? If they were stationary, they would flex at this point, and this extra wear right here. So you don't want, so to counteract that and make it last longer, they did rotating prongs. Excellent idea for tubes, So that's another way of attaching. Oh, and this is the way to attach tubes too, by the way, right here. This is called a Chinese handcuff. Remember when you was a kid? And you had that little toy, that tube you stuck your fingers in, and you couldn't get it out, you would push, and what's going on, what's going on? It's the same basic principle as the Chinese handcuff method of putting tubes, which is used by like 95% of slingshots today. They just take this prong sticking out with another one, like this. Take this prong sticking out, and they'll wet it with alcohol, get a piece of tubing, stick it on there. All right, of course, obvious reasons. You got to go past the bend, stick it on past the bend. Then let it set overnight. Let it set overnight, and you're in. And by the pressure of pulling that, it tightens itself against the prong, and it's not going nowhere. You would look at it and say, man, it's not tied up or anything else, but it's just like I said with that toy that you used to have years ago. It's called the Chinese handcuff. The pressure of it keeps it right on the prong. And you get them off, you just roll them back like that. And when you're loading these, when you're loading bands like this, when you're loading tubes onto frames like this, get a black magic marker and put a little line up on top like that, and also put a line where your pouch is, right over there, and right on the edge of this band. So this way you keep everything lined up. That black mark, because sometimes tubes will turn on you, this and that, and then you'll get, after it dries overnight, you'll say, oh my God, it's all messed up. By putting the black mark, and black mark match it up with the black mark on your tube, you'll line them up straight so that they're hung perfect. They'll be straight like that, and they'll be dead on, So it's another good tip to go. But that Chinese handcuff method ain't going nowhere. You look at it, you say, wow, but it really works well. So that's another way of doing it. What other ones we got? Oh, here's another way. They use this in Mexico. This is an old Marksman classic slingshot. They use this in Mexico. They'll take the tube, and they'll put a string around it. They'll put a piece of string around like this. Bend the tube like that, and see that hole there? They'll push this through, take that string, and push it through like that, and pull it right through. And this end will be stuck. It'll look like this inside. The string obviously is not going to be there. It'll be bent like this. It'll be through like that. And then by pulling this, it tightens it up against there. And you can always put a piece of wood in there or something again. It's another method, you know. And like I said, any method that you feel that you want to put on your slingshot, as long as it's safe. Like after you get the attachment style done, whatever attachment style you choose, take it down like this and take it low, and pull it back a few times. Don't release it. Pull it back a few times and see if it's safe before you bring it up to eye level, you know. And like I said, always weigh these things. Most important thing. Now as far as, here's another one. This is a tournament slingshot. This is a high grade tournament slingshot with all the bells and whistles. This was made by Jack Kohler, the author of Slingshot Shooting, the Bible for slingshots. A tremendous book. You can get it on Amazon.com and a few other places, but Jack went all out on this one. This is a tournament grade slingshot, and it has a clamp band attachment, stainless steel up front, 2 Phillips head screws, nuts over there. Open it up, slip the band in, tighten it, simple. You can use tubes on this, you can use big thick bands, thin bands, anything, because the pressure of this clamp being tight against it, it ain't going nowhere. This has a fiber optic sight, adjustable sight for distance. I mean, it's got everything. It's got an adjustable brace on this. Beautifully designed slingshot. Maple, stainless steel, awesome. But that's another style attachment. Now as far as bands, here's another one too. This is a Saunders Falcon, one of the best slingshots of all time. Tremendously powerful slingshot too. Look at them band tubes. Ooh. But in order to counteract the band, the tubes wearing, Saunders came up with this idea. They put a heavy-duty rubber sleeve over the top. So when your bands go through, they'll come through. Look, and watch what happens. It aids. See that? It doesn't have like a sharp bend because this is preventing it from bending all the way. So it aids in your tube life. They'll last longer that way. So that's another way. What do we got? Oh yeah, attachments. You can use string. You can use strips of latex. You can use electrical sealing tape like this stuff here. This is electrical sealing tape. I like this stuff. It's electrical sealing tape, rubber tape. Cut a strip like that. Peel it back. And you can use it for band attachments, pouch attachments. And it just stretches like all heck, you know. Really nice. As soon as you get this stuff off, anyway. And it's self-sticking. Sticks to itself. Like that. And it really winds nice. This is older stuff, so it obviously breaks. But you just tie it right around. It'll stick to itself really good. That's another way of doing it. You can attach that to pouches. You can use masking tape, regular masking tape, but like I said, you got to stretch it. You got to stretch your band. Have somebody stretch it for you when you're putting it through your pouch. You get a pouch like this. Put it through. Put it through like this. Like that. Put it. And then when you're tying it, see, stretch it. Stretch it a little bit. Have 2 people, have another person tie it. Then you tie it like that. You can use tape. You can use string. You can use pieces of rubber. You can use heat shrink tape. Here's an assembly by Saunders that uses heat shrink tubing. They put a piece of tubing over this, hit it with a blow dryer. They also have heat shrink tape. It's a clear tape. You can wrap it around and then hit it with a blow dryer or a little match underneath. To be very careful. You got to watch them methods though, because heat kills rubber, so you got to be really careful. But they'll work, and that's an attachment for a style that you can use. And what else we got? Here's a plastic plug attachment. This works on the same principle as the Chinese handcuff. These plugs slid in, they got slits in them, they fit in your pouch. Then you take this, you get your tubing, you wet it with the alcohol, go on the top, boom, they're on, and they're attached. And it's a very simple attachment. Let it set overnight, and you're all set. It's the way to go. Let's see. That's about it. That's about it for right now. We got them pretty well covered. If I forgot anything, well, like I said, there'll be another video eventually with all things I missed and stuff, because it's virtually impossible to cover everything. Because you can basically use anything, as long as it's going to be safe, as long as it's safe for you to use and you feel comfortable with it. And like I said, when you're done, you pull it back a few times, use it, and there's a lot of variety out there. And so I just gave you some ideas. And if you got any questions, you can always email me. My